Hey, folks, just a friendly reminder that all shows on the Madness Comic Network are produced by their individual hosts and in no way reflect the opinions of the network as a whole.
The world has got you down, a smile on your brow. Put a little madness in your life. If life makes you unashamed and comics are your estate, put a little madness in your life. Come give your mind a cleanse. Tune in with pops and friends. Just turn on your Roku box and then put a little madness in your life. Put a little madness in your life. Yeah, yeah. Put a little madness in your life.
Flip City Magazine is just really pulling out all the stops, man. Your guys' production value of this magazine has gone insane. I mean, look at that. I mean, I remember when you guys, it was black and white. Even when it was black and white, I thought your quality was great. But damn, they just really stepping it up a notch. Look at this. James Corbett, boys. James Corbett.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Glamorized and embraced by Hollywood, feared in the underworld, Benjamin Bugsy Siegel was one of the most powerful men in America. He was also one of the most hated. The man who gave birth to Las Vegas was gunned down in the luxurious home of his glamorous lover. Almost 80 years later, his murder remains unsolved. Who killed Bugsy?
Hey, everybody, Dirk Manning here, the writer and creator of numerous comic books and graphic novels, including Nightmare World, Tales of Mystery, Brave but Not Dead, all kinds of stuff. And I am super excited for you because you are getting to watch right now, right this moment, out of all the things we're going to be doing, you're getting to enjoy and revel in the Madness Comic Network. And that is awesome. Thank you for being here.
Welcome to the Silverline. It's me, your host, Dr. Clingman, or Mr. Big. I'm not going to change that title anyway. Here we'll be talking mostly science fiction, but first we got a couple of announcements. First, my fundraiser for my documentary in Bugsy Siegel goes live sometime this morning in Fundiverse. Again, the crowdsourcing for my documentary on Bugsy Siegel goes live sometime this morning in Fundiverse. So soon there'll be a link to that on the Bugsy scene that you see here. So people want to be part of the Bugsy experience can do so. And we absolutely would love you to be part of the crazy experience that will be Bugsy. Absolutely, without a doubt. Other things I'm going at news-wise. That's a pretty big one. Second one, coming up, I want to encourage people here. The guy that runs this place, Pops, I'm sorry. I'm not quite tuned in yet. Pops will be doing an auction soon to promote the creation of Roku. Please come. Please come donate stuff. You got something you can donate. But more importantly, come and buy something. Come and donate, please. I mean, he has a GoFundMe too. Even $1 goes a long ways. I've been able to donate a couple bucks. I hope to be able to do so in the future. I hope you guys can too. Because things like this and other programs that he's heavily involved in can't exist without support. Things cost money. They do. Things aren't free. You know, everyone's get paid. I like getting paid. I guess you like being paid. We have to support the people who help us survive and do better. People like Pops need our support. Let's give it to them, boys and girls. Let's give it to them. Now, to the show. What you can expect here in Sci-Fi Saturday Night is discussions of science fiction. I love science fiction. I love science fiction, the science shows growing up. I remember as a little boy, CBS had something on Saturday morning called the 21st Century. Yeah. Called the 21st Century with Walter Cronkite with interviewed different science people. And he interviewed really incredibly wild people. At the time, wild people. I mean, I'm a little boy. I'm like 10, right? And they had a guy talking about how the city of Santa Barbara was taking sewage and turning it into pure water. And it was at that time of the half-hour program, but they took it every step of the way. And how they took the sewage and cleaned it, right? Get rid of all the dirt and the germs and all the other good stuff. Where it was pure than water falling from the sky, right? Interesting factual information that made me want to know more. That made me want to support what people were doing. I'm getting excited. Pops told me not to get excited. The show would also talk about a man that was working with laser beams, ruby lasers, how they work, and what could be done with them. And that time was when he talking about they were using it to measure objects, distances, be it from Earth to the moon, or even closer distances than Earth, and what all the technology they could do with lasers. So immediately I went to the library and I got books on lasers, right? Again, I'm 10, 12, and I'm bringing these books home. And I read these books and I'm learning what they could do with laser beams. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Then growing up, I had the opportunity to read what the CIA was able to do with laser beams. They're able to take a laser beam and bounce it off a window. And by doing so, hear conversations going on in that room. Yeah, they could take a laser beam, invisible to the human eye, bounce off a lit window, hear every conversation going on in the room. Going into this story a little bit more, we find out that another group of the CIA wanting to, in a friendly rivalry with laser beam people, developed a way that they could tap your toilet tank, where every conversation within 100 feet of that toilet could be recorded. That's technology. That was technology, and the day it was sent out to the world as something science fiction-ish. This would never happen, but it was able to happen. And I'm sorry, my mind gets flooded with all these crazy ideas. There's a book called Frankenstein's Cat, is the name of the book. In it, they talked about the things that the government, most American government, was doing science equipment with animals. And not mean things necessarily. I mean, they were able to go and tap a cat, wire a cat up to be a spy. The cat would be at home, cat would be wherever the cat would be. And the antennas that the cat would be having on its back would pick up conversations, pick up other information that may be related to third parties, right? Interesting, fascinating stuff. This is just some of the stuff we'll be talking about. Mostly we'll be talking about books and films. I'm a big sci-fi reader. I like the movies. More of the old school stuff. I'm going to find old schools pre-2000. Christ, it's 2024 now, right? I'm talking about, mostly I'll be talking about books and movies before the year 2000. Probably before the year 1990. I mean, somewhat going back more time, some things will creep over that mark in 2000, but these are the ones we'll be talking about. When we talk about some of the films and some of the earlier books, especially H.G. Wells and Jules Verne, we'll be talking about how the ideas that they presented in the books were science fiction-ish are everyday common events that go on all the time that we take for granted. Like as when I was a boy, I was reading, I think it was H.G. Wells' book on a group of people went to the moon. Right, and of course, I got to check a lot in the book. My father would take me to the library and check a lot in the book because we know no man was never going to go to the moon, right? Even at the time I was a little boy, the Mercury program was going on, and I had a little target for my dart gun of the Mercury 7 astronauts, right? And I was encouraged, you were encouraged by doing these things to learn more about the space program, learn more about what NASA was doing, right? I went to the library, we read H.G. Wells. I went to see Man in the Moon. Within, I would say, 4 years of that, 5 years of that, man was walking on the moon. We're able to take a man, and within 100 years of the airplane, kind of less than 100 years, way less, of the man flying a Keyhawk to landing on the moon, right? And now, it's not 100 years yet, we're debating going to Mars. And more science fiction than that. I don't know if you're familiar with the moon, the book, The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Well, interesting book. I highly recommend that you read. Anything by Robert Heinlein you should read. Right? Not so much the later part of his stuff after his brain tumor gets removed, but the pre-stuff. Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Starship Troopers, yes. We'll be talking about Starship Troopers. We'll be talking about the book, which is a great book. I highly recommend it. And the movie, which is an okay movie. They should have called it something else because the movie Starship Troopers has as much to do with the book as, well, it doesn't. It's not even close. Other than they use the name of the title, they named some of the characters in the film after some of the characters in the book, but in their bugs, giant evil bugs in both of them, right? But that's about where they meet, congeal, so to speak. The rest of the book has little to do with the movie and vice versa. Though, Denise would, God, I can't think of her last name. Denise would go from being a movie star, Charlie Sheen's wife, she has an OnlyFans page. Goes to show the decline of movie stars who pick wrong movies to do, who pick wrong people to be married to. And it has nothing to do with science fiction. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's a shitty comment that I thought I would have an aside. But there's so much to do with science fiction. Science fiction shows, this TV show, The X-Files, motivated my youngest daughter to become a nurse practitioner. Because she watched The X-Files. She really liked the character of Scully, who's a doctor, who's involved with the FBI, she's an FBI agent. She helped Mulder solve crimes. She helps Mulder investigate these crazy things going on, right? And when her mother, my wife, became sick with breast cancer, my daughter felt powerless as a teenager to do anything, but she thought, as she was later explained to us, that if Scully could become a doctor, why couldn't she become a medical professional and do something else to other people who were ill and sick? In my wife's case, cancer. And thankfully, my wife recovered from cancer. Praise God for that, right? But again, my daughter used the X-Files, and one of the motivating factors to why she got motivated to do well in school, to get the jobs that she needed to get, to be able to pay for school. I mean, my daughter, and this goes back to the X-Files, my daughter was so motivated by the X-Files to work in medicine, she went through the high school program that they had at the time to get her involved in nursing, and she worked full-time since she was a 17-year-old in high school. So when she worked full-time in high school, as she was in high school, she worked full-time after high school to be able to go to school full-time. I mean, her nursing degree was a 4-year program. She has a BA in it. Then she became a nurse practitioner, which took a couple of years, right? But she also worked full-time, and by the time she started to be nurse practitioner at that time, she also had a family. That's how motivated she was by something as simple as a TV show. Other great TV shows, we could argue if it's more, was it science fiction or was it master horror, would be, excuse me, The Night Stalker, the Las Vegas reporter who would have adventures meeting the mummy, and he ran into a vampire, he ran into a couple of mad scientists, all those things. So all can be also useful for motivation. It's the motivation that are done by science fiction shows that can motivate the youth of America, people, in all age groups, to do things. I mean, I motivated now by the X-Files, by another show called Fringe. I don't even know if you've seen that show or not. I hope you did. It's a good show. Again, past 2000, at the same point, science fiction. To make, in my own time, a radio telescope. Well, I can listen to the stars, right? And I can do so with the programs on YouTube that will teach me step by step how to do this. Great stuff. There's a lot of good motivational shows on YouTube. They'll help motivate people to create stuff to create. Another thing we'll be doing is talking about old school computer technology. I know a man in Canada who can do amazing, incredible things with the old TI-94s. Was one of the earliest home computers. It predates Apple, around the same time frame as the first Amigas came out, right? In which he still uses today is home, what's called laboratory, to do things with them, do incredible type stuff. And this is a computer with less computer power than my Android. So what can he do with an Android is I don't know. I plan to find out. I plan to I might buy a TI or an Amiga because they're cheap. You can buy them cheap for on eBay. And see what I can't do with them to recreate some of the things he can do with those things. Turn in lights and turn in the TV is easy stuff. But he's using it to translate languages, right? He's using it to do different educational stuff. All good. We'll all be talking about technology. Back in the day, back in the 70s, Canadians developed a way to use cable bandwidth. And your cable TV, we utilized some of the unused bandwidth on a cable TV wire to broadcast educational shows. Or you at home, if you wanted to, you can watch whatever TV show you want to watch on your cable, but you also watch a show that teaches you math, that teaches you science, that may teach you bookkeeping, might teach you a foreign language. All technology that can be utilized or next to nothing to help educate people. Because education is absolutely key. Education is the primary job that we have as parents. I've grown kids. I've grown grandkids for that matter. I've called younger grandkids too. And I see it as my job to motivate my kids to learn. And I can use different things to motivate them to learn. I can lecture them like there's no tomorrow. I'm going to get tired of grandpa lecturing. They've heard of them before, right? But we also watch Johnny Quest. Remember Johnny Quest? Johnny Quest is a cool TV show with a cool cartoon, right? You can see him now. I think Amazon Prime has him. I think sometimes YouTube has outtakes of them and the like, right? But Johnny Quest was a very Johnny Quest educated, motivated children to be interested in the sciences without the lecture. They made it fun. And that's key when it comes to science fiction films. They can make things fun. Same thing with the books. When you read the old H.G. Wells books, right, it makes learning more about those times interesting. At the same time, you have H.G. Wells writing his books, Jules Verne's writing his books, and other people writing at the beginning of science fiction. There are people like Michael Faraday, who was an English inventor, a scientist, self-taught, at doing things in research electricity that came up with really incredible theories that were used in days to come to invent other things that were used as basic ideas to push science forward. Citizen science, for lack of a better word, right? I'm not going to encourage somebody to go out today, hook into local power lines illegally, and build things at home, right? Hey, Gray Wolf, you rock on. I'm not encouraging you that. I'm encouraging to go to the library. I mean, they got science fiction. I'm sorry, got Scientific American. That time to time used to run things in their magazines, things you could try to do at home. There's other citizen science events, programs, groups that go out there and encourage people to use their own what they can do with their eyes, to conceive and investigate with their own time, in their own ways to help improve the environment. The bird counting that we do here a couple times a year, where they ask people like myself to go outside with her and others and count the birds. See what species those birds might be. How many robins are you seeing? How many seagulls are you seeing? How many blackbirds are you seeing? That helps them. They get this information, they got this information, and they can predict what's going on in the environment that may need to be fixed. Mind you, I'm not anywhere close to one of these global warming alarmists, because I think any global warming that we might have is natural global warming, right? I don't think it's man-made global warming. But I also believe in clean water. I also believe in clean air. I also believe in protecting the environment. We recycle, not only because we need to, because it's seniority, because I want to. Because I understand how important it is to keep the environment clean. And these are all things that are also promoted by science fiction works. I've read many science fiction stories about what happens when the environment collapses, right? I don't want to be part of that. So I don't want to be part of that problem. I want to be part of that solution, right? This is all the cool stuff we can be. I say the Grey Wolf shout out come up. Anyway, how I'm measuring success of this show. I mean, I really appreciate Grey Wolf coming in there and saying hi, right? I appreciate you guys who come in here to watch this and say something. Is by how many books might be sold. There's a book that's highlighted as the program notes, right? It's not one of mine. I didn't write it. It's a book that's written by the people that do Critical Blast. But I'm using that work that they've done to see how many people might watch this show and how many be motivated them to support the show with buying that book. I do have a UFO book in process that's being edited by. I have to do some editing in it and do some editing with it, add some more information to it. The Critical Blast will edit it and do the magic stuff that they do it, which will be sold here eventually, but not now. So what I'm using now is I'm promoting the colored book, which I recommend. 2 thumbs up. I will be talking about how you guys should buy it. I expect everybody here to buy a copy of that book. I understand that bills need to be paid. I know that we get some bills that freak us out. I know going to the store now freaks us out. I know my wife comes back from the grocery store upset because how much prices climb. Interesting thing too. One thing, and we're flipping around, I know, but at least I'm not talking as fast as I normally do. I'll give myself points for that. Is the interesting things, there's games out there. One of them being Metamorphosis Alpha, one's called Gamma World, which talks about falls of society for different things. Gamma World is after excuse me, some type of nuclear war. Metamorphosis Alpha is with about a generational ship that's fallen to, that's crumbling, and things inside the ship isn't quite what they should be. Both are good role-playing games. I recommend them both. A lot of fun. Got Travel as a role-playing game, which is far more detail-oriented than most Dungeons and Dragons type games are. But if you like science fiction games, it's a fun way. It's a fun game, fun role-playing game. So is Metamorphosis Alpha, so is Gun World. There's others out there as well. And then we have a TV show out there called, again, this is way post what I would mostly be talking about, but it's germane, which is called Fallout. I don't know if you've seen that. I was like, Prime or not. I'll give it 2 thumbs up. It's a great, fun show. It's a great. I bought the computer games. If you liked it, please get a hold of me with my Twitter, which is a Clingman Doctor. That sign Clingman Doctor. Gets a hold of me my Twitter. You can say I played this game. I like it, or I played this game on the computer and I don't like it. See what happens. I mean, we got Space 99, good show. All kinds of science fiction shows to talk about. And I'll be talking about most of them I've seen and have some type of a yeah, okay, thank you. I appreciate the feedback. We're talking about them. Also be talking about what the messages of these older school science fiction themed shows, movies especially, talked about, and if we paid attention to them. I'm going to make the film suggestion that we have it. Now, interesting, let's talk about the old Frankenstein. Most people are mistaken when they see the creature as the monster, because the creature does run berserk, in a sense. The creature does, in the movie at least, kills a child. And my argument I'll make is that the creature was a creation of a doctor, a medical doctor. He was the real master. All the evil that comes about in that book is due to the actions of a medical doctor. And I'll be looking at that book and talking about that book from the aspect of this. Do we say the same things today? Can we look around ourselves today and say, look at this, look at that, and who was behind it? And how many times will we see that doctors are behind it? If you simply, let's just take one little thing. Let's take Second World War. We look at the Second World War. We look at the Nazi concentration camps. We looked at the Japanese Unit 731, what they did to prisoners of war. We can look at the concentration camps and what they did with the Jewish prisoners, the gypsies and homosexuals and stuff, right? Horrific things. And though they were mostly all supervised by medical doctors. Some after the war were hanged, more Germans and Japanese. And then when you look further into what happened to these horrific human beings, you find out many of them work for Americans. Most of the leadership for Unit 731 ends up working for who? Drum roll, please. The Center of Disease Control, the National Institute of Health. Wow. Instead of hanging them or practicing vivisection on Americans, Chinese prisoners, American prisoners, prisoners from Australia, Dutch prisoners, women and children, some Chinese civilians using biological weapons, and Chinese villagers, right? They come to the United States to work for the government. Wow. That makes me think. Why did we hang them? I will never know these questions. Some books written on subject, but these things we've been bringing up. What have we learned, if anything? What we should have learned? Is it too late to take away these lessons? I don't think that it is. I think it's the perfect time, in fact, to reach out to our elected officials and say, hey, what are we still doing with this guy here, that guy there, after we found out he did this, or after we found out she did that? These are questions to be asked. Now, we can draw our own conclusions. You may not agree with me in my analyzing Frankenstein and other books, right? You might think I'm batshit crazy, but I hope that it presents an idea for us to think about, an idea for us to talk about. Now, this show's not designed to be in its own, I gotta go, I only have half an hour. All right, see, a half an hour. I hope I cut my voice slow-paced and well-spoken. I'm working on that, I really am. I've been taking the opportunities from time to time to sit down in my room and practice with my cats. given an opportunity, leave. Let's have the treats. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for listening. Good night. And check out the book. Remember the auction is coming up. And when I know more, like dates and how you can participate, I'll make sure that you do. I'm hoping that maybe perhaps there's a special show with a special guest or two talking up the auction to get us motivated to do it, right? Let's do this, people. Remember, he's our leader. We must support the leadership. All right, sick giant evil bugs at us from UFOs. Talk to y'all later. Bye.